right. Well, hey, good morning or good afternoon. Good evening, actually. Sorry about that. Hey, good evening.
I think that was a movie.
It is. I think it is. Well, hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Derek. I'm your MC for the night. I'm so thankful for you all to carve out time and join us. We've got a special night for you. A couple things to just chat about first. I hope you enjoyed the food and the tailgating and just the opportunity to just fellowship beforehand. Got a couple people to thank real quick. For those who's joining us live, thank you for joining us. Yes, we are live, so wave out there, drop a comment. I want to thank the MABE crew, a bunch of handsome fellas, smart, charming, strong, everything you want in a son. They were here tonight helping us, so we're super thankful for that. Hey, we're excited. We're gonna kick off the American Football Mission League tonight, and we're gonna jump into some introductions. So first, I'm gonna stand and come down a little bit as I introduce Coach Steve Sloan. Steve has been working and coaching for youth or with youth for 40 years, over 40 years, since he was 6 years old, and just super smart at that age.
Brownie points.
Yeah, always. Sports like baseball, basketball, soccer, and football, and all at the youth, high school levels, and even the semi-pro football league in Brazil. And actually share a quick story. Steve, in the spring, I actually coached Little League Baseball with Steve, and the first night, I begged him, by the way, please help me. And he came out and helped me. And the first night, we're out there, and they're running around, and you're trying to coach, not yelling at kids, but you're coaching from afar. But Steve did something great. You could just see it. Like the kids, he got around them. He just leaned into their space and talked to them. He had their attention. And I just sat back and go, this guy's a pro. I was like, yeah, it's not his first rodeo. He knows what he's doing. So yeah, I admire Steve a lot. Super humbled and honored to coach with him before and have those experiences. But that experience and the vision God has given him is the why we're here tonight. So we're going to talk more about that. And here we go, Coach Steve Sloan.
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate the intro. Of course, those of you that don't know it, he has to be nice to me. He's my son-in-law. So, interesting little side story, too. This lunchroom that we're in is actually, I would imagine that you and my daughter had a few lunches together here a few years ago.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, and then also the other interesting thing is the school that was here several years ago, I coached Derek on the football team here.
He did.
So here we are.
Look at this.
10 years later. No, more than that. 14 years later.
A little while.
And we're starting another football league here. So
yeah, those are great times. Actually, I think I asked Alicia out right about this vicinity. On this floor, actually, I asked her out. It was a homecoming dance. I was suave that night, and she couldn't say no. So I said, but it was happened here, but yeah, we played out there in those fields and practiced often, and yeah, it was a pleasure being able to coach by you. So yeah.
Good times. So what I want to do, one of the first thing I want to do is talk about the new school that's here and our relationship with these guys, with Lakeland Christian Preparatory School. So I want to ask Mr. Pete Baldwin if you'll come up here and let's discuss a little bit about the new school or the new location, because you have more than one. Come on up. We'll put you right here in the middle.
Okay.
All right. So give us a little bit of background. What made you come to Lakeland first? I know you have 5 other schools.
Yes, sir.
What made you come to Lakeland?
God sent us here. So this is God's property. It's in a great community here, and God opened a door, and we walked through it. And not shortly after, we met great people like Kay out here and Steve, who love the community and love people. And I think that we track with them with our philosophy and all being Christ-centered. And we're excited. We're excited about this football program and where it's going to open doors for not just football, but changing lives and giving them so much more that's wrapped around the sport. And also what football does to change kids and build confidence and hard work and, teamwork. So we're real excited about this.
I was really excited when you called me up because when the property sold, it was like, oh man, I was hoping we could use that property. And then you called me up, and after talking, you're like, well, hey, how would you guys like to use the property? Like, well, that's kind of a no-brainer, yeah. So, and the other thing I wanted to mention too is you guys' attitude towards the use of the facility. It's not yours; it's God's.
Absolutely,
anybody can use it.
Absolutely.
And that's just key. And this neighborhood needs you guys, desperately needs you guys here. So we're very happy that you're here, and I'm very thankful for you allowing us to use the facilities.
Well, just thank God. We're just being obedient. As you know, there's been some, we call it deferred maintenance. We're having to invest quite a bit in get ACs and roofs fixed first. But across the whole property, about a year from now, it's not even going to look the same. And not just with the facility improvements, but the way it's being used. Before we came on board, there was a great outreach with the needs in the community with the food program. We're hoping that continues and to get stronger. We want it used 24/7, as long as it's honoring God and helping people. And that's the bottom line.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate it, and we look forward to continuing to work together.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, hey, let's jump into one of our main talking points, Steve. One of the main reasons we're here tonight is to talk six-man football. Maybe you're like me and you go, what is six-man football? So, Steve, can you open up and share some of your experiences, some of the history, and just some more specifics about what six-man football is?
Yeah, absolutely. We can talk football all day long, can't we, Coach? I mean, that can go on and on and on. So, but we'll try to keep part of that brief. But my introduction to six-man football came back in 2008, 2009 through Geneva Classical Academy. I went and watched a few games. I thought, that's a pretty interesting game. High-scoring game, a lot of skilled guys, looked a lot of fun. In 2010, they called and asked if I wanted to be the head coach. And I thought, well, that's
easy decision, right?
Six-man No. Not easy at all.
Okay.
And I hate to get too long-winded here,
Go
but
ahead.
I got to tell this. My first day of practice with them, I lined the kids up. We're throwing the ball. Six-man football is mainly, at that time, a predominant passing league, right? So I line these 12 kids up, and we're throwing the ball. They can't catch a ball. It hits in their hands and falls down. I came home and told my wife that night, I don't know if I made the right decision or not. We can't even catch a ball. It's a passing league. What are we going to do? So what we did, we ran the ball in a passing league, and we did really well. So I learned a lot through that. And this vision has, to be honest with you, it's a 40-year vision. This started with me when I was 18 years old, and the experiences and the life experiences that have happened is what has led us to where we are today. And a couple of things that we did. 1996, we started a league called the Lake Gibson Renegades. We started feeding Lake Gibson High School, and 2 years later, they made the playoffs for the first time, and they've been in the playoffs ever since. So we had a lot of success there. So I've started leagues before, I've started teams before. Okay, 2016, I started a company called Tackle Tube. One of the things that company has allowed me to do is I learned tackling from the guru. Glenn Remnett lives in the UK, lives in London. He knows more about tackling than any person I've ever seen before. So I was able to learn from him and then travel the country from 16 to 19 doing coaching clinics, player clinics. I got to watch a lot of youth football tournaments, watched a lot of youth practices, and quite honestly, it was a little disturbing watching how some of these coaches treated the players. And not all of them. There's a lot of good coaches out there, so don't bake everybody in the same pie. But there was some things going on that were like, oh my gosh, we have to do better. We have to do better. So yeah, that's kind of where the vision continued. Well, and then, of course, other programs that we're going to talk about came from that. We want to talk about a little bit more about the football, though. The six-man game is really unique. You got to have 3 on the line, 3 in the backfield, but all 6 players are eligible to receive the ball and run the ball. So what happens in 11-man football, for the young guys, little Johnny who's playing left guard will block for a half a second. He'll stop and turn around. He'll watch the game and plays over, right? You're not going to get away with that in 6-man. 6-man is everybody's involved. Everybody, like I said, everybody can run the ball. We can spread out, throw the ball all over the place, teach a lot of skill technique, teach reads, or we can bring it in tight and do a lot of lineman technique and get real specific with the lineman and the footwork and learn all that. So everything that we do in 6-man football will transition to 11-man football. So everything that we're going to teach here, if these guys want to play high school, they're going to be extremely well prepared to play at the next level.
Yeah, so basically you're saying, regardless offense, defense, every position can be coached, it can translate, can make an impact, not just I can't hide, essentially. I was good at that, right? You just said, hey, go hide over there. We just need a body.
Hey, we only had like 13 players. You didn't have a choice. You had to play, right? So the other cool thing, too, is roster size. Okay. We're only going to keep like 10 to 12 on a roster. I don't really want to go much higher than that. The reason for that is everybody gets that playing time. Okay, our league will be a little bit different in the sense of I'm going to have the coaches on the field with the players in the huddle. When you go to the line of scrimmage and you know what you're doing, you play with confidence. You learn and you're going to play better. If you go to the line of scrimmage and you don't know what you're doing, you just stand there. So we want the kids. It's a training league. We want the kids to be to improve every day in practice and every game.
Yeah. So you talk a little bit about the coaches and how we recognize coaches have an opportunity to make impacts basically regularly every practice. And starting a football league is going to give many opportunities to make an impact. And as you mentioned, we can talk more football a little later, but I really want to get to some of these other programs, Steve, if you don't mind. Can you dive a little bit into the other programs that are happening and associated with the American Football League?
Did we have that Daniel's video?
I think one of the things that has become a lot more lost in today's day and age is the value of good coaches at a young age. I was fortunate to grow up playing youth sports, mainly baseball at the time, where I had a string of very good coaches that had a big impact on my life at the time. School was never an issue, home life was never an issue, but being able to have it positively reinforced through something that I enjoyed was really valuable to me as a kid. And then as I got older into high school, being able to have a coach that I could talk to, a coach that cared more about me than the sport he was coaching, was invaluable, and that was something that I really took away. I know at one of the first meetings Coach Sloan had with us as a player, he told all the parents that the mark of a team's success wasn't the record at the end of the year. The success for that particular team would be to look back in 10 years and see where those kids are at, what kind of men they are, what kind of husbands and fathers and employees they are. And that was something that's always stuck with me and something I've carried with me. I've been fortunate to coach now for 6-7 years, and that's something that I've tried to emulate because I had such a strong example of a great coach that was able to care and make a difference. The sport was great. I learned a lot about football from him, but that was always secondary because of the life value it got me. And now being able to get to the point where I've had kids who have been graduated for 4 or 5 years now, and you start to see some of those benefits where you aren't directly responsible for, but to be able to look at kids who are having kids and being productive in the workforce that you coached and watch them grow up, that's been probably the greatest joy I've gotten out of coaching. It's better than any of the wins. It's better than any of the time you spend watching film or drawing stuff up. That's great, and I love that. But to see a direct impact and to see a kid who you've watched grow up from 12, 13, 14 to now being a father and now imparting those same values into his kids and into society, that's something that I think is incredibly important and something that seems to be a little bit less and less, I know, with typical Pop Warner leagues in normal little leagues, there's the stereotypes with all the parents and everything, but some of it does fall back on coaching as well. Winning is the end all be all, and I was fortunate as a kid to have coaches that wanted to win. There was never a doubt that we wanted to win games, but that wasn't why we were there. That wasn't the reason we do this. The reason you coach, the reason you invest in kids is to try to better the world and try to give back what you were given. So for me, to see a league like this that started up where the coaches that you get and the people that are involved are going to have that mindset first, that it's about the kids, it's about investing in young people and growing them and bettering the future, that's something that really excites me and something that I can really get behind, and I'm glad is here and glad that is now going to be an option. So hopefully it starts, a little bit of a change in things. That would be outstanding, and I'm really supportive of what Coach Sloan's got going here. As someone who had the fortune of playing for him, I know the kind of man he is. I know the kind of coach he is. I know how he cares about the kids that he impacts. So seeing this and getting a chance to be a part of it is awesome, especially whenever you incorporate something like six-man football, which is just insanely fun. It's a great teaching tool for kids from the football side of things. It's awesome to see, and I'm really glad to be a part of this. So thank you, Coach Sloan, for having me, and thank you for starting this. This is awesome.
But just real quick, just a comment, and I want to hear from you too, is I love his words there. He said a couple things. Just one, if you caught it, six-man's fun. And I think that's something we talk about, especially coaching Little League not too long ago, is people need to hear that. Hey, in order to become passionate about something, it's got to be fun. So Daniel recognized that. He recognized the value and the impact a coach makes too. So I know we're going to move on some programs, but anything you want to share about that video?
Yeah, Daniel, he set a high bar for himself. In 2016, we sat down with Geneva, and they wanted me to be the head coach. They thought Daniel was too young, which he was 22 at the time. I'm like, no. This kid can do this. I'll help him. We'll do it. So we had 3 22-year-old coaches in 2016, and we won state. Thank you very much. So those guys did a phenomenal job. So Daniel did an incredible job, called plays like nobody's business, picking teams apart. It was just, so it's. He's right. It's fun to see a kid that you've coached go into that and do the same thing that you want to do. So I got to shut up.
No, I had the pleasure of coaching Daniel too. I coached Steve with Steve a year in six-man, and I had a chance to coach Daniel. Great guy, amazing character. So clearly you had an impact on him, and it's definitely evident. So.
That's fun stuff. So let's move on and talk about a couple other things. We've got programs that we want to talk about, but also part of this is our association with different people. So one of the things that I knew starting this league, that I would have to find someone that I could depend upon. We're going to run into situations with families, whether it's abuse, whether it's different needs, and I was going to have some help on that. So I want to bring up my friend Kay Casser with Cumbie Connection, and I want to talk to you a little bit and go. I'm excited. Always. So here, you have to have a mic, and
I gotta have.
you're way more used to that than I am. So first of all, when we met, it was almost, we knew there was something, we were going to be able to work together. That was just a given. But before we get into that part of it, tell me just a little bit about Cumbie Connection and what you guys are doing. And because I know Pete even said something about it with the food and everything as well. So
Yes. We feed a lot of people. We started out really small, just meeting the need, getting folks to a hurricane shelter before Hurricane Irma. God had other plans, and he just blew things up. So we ended up taking over 509 people through the church doors, and then we saw in their homes that there was hunger, and so that grew. And we went from, at the pandemic, from 30 to 90 folks, and then now we're over 4,000 people that we feed a month. And so we're not just in Cumbie anymore. He has us on Memorial Boulevard and over into Wabash. So God just blew the thing up. So we're in homes every week mentoring moms. We feed the homeless and walk alongside of them as well, and feed a whole lot of people. So.
Yeah, one of the things that we talked about too is
Just God.
d-
It's just
yeah,
God.
absolutely. During our practice, we'll be practicing on Tuesdays and Thursdays, games on Saturdays. We're going to take a Tuesday night family meal night, maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, and we want to feed the families. So this is not only Kay, but I've even had a couple of local churches say, we're all in, we'll help you, get all the food you need. So that's one of the things that we want to do as an organization as well is, tell the parents, hey, Tuesday night, come out here after we finish practice, we're going to feed you. Don't worry about cooking dinner tonight. And during that time, we'll do a little Bible study and we'll share the word and we'll let people know how much Jesus loves them. And that's the basis for everything that we're doing.
And it makes such a big difference. We go Thursday nights, we do what's called a roving family picnic, and we pop up in moms' yards. And then any homeless or anybody else in the area that are hungry, or we have some disabled elderly folks. And we, every week, so they know we're coming on Thursday nights, we pop up, we serve a hot meal, we give them a bag of provisions for the week, and move on to the next. So we have about 4 stops, and then we end up in the parking lot down here at Harvey's and have a church service, put clothes, sleeping bags, and that kind of thing for the homeless folks. So kind of a church without walls. And breaking bread together is the most important thing. They come together and they sit, and it's beautiful. I mean, there may not be a building there or whatever, but everybody just comes together, and it's beautiful. Come on and sit down, and you're in a front yard somewhere, but breaking bread is so important, and that consistency. You're going to say Tuesday night, this lady here, I have to tell you about this mom. She used to run one of the drug houses out here, and she lost her kids, and now she has them back, and she's a manager at a major chain store. So, yeah, that's one of our moms. We had our 100th person come out of the streets on Thursday night. Yeah, our 100th in just under 4 years. That's God. That's not Ms. K or Mr. Harry. That's just God, and that's consistency. So that Tuesday is going to be vital because that's consistency. You love them, you care about them, and they can count on you. Yeah.
One of the things, I had an opportunity to serve with you 2 weeks ago on a Thursday. It's the first time I had went out there and was handing out cake. And the thing that has impressed me so much that God's really moved on my heart, coming to some of the different events that you guys do, is there's no judgment. It's just love. And you go to one of their events, and honestly, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of churches I don't see that in. Okay, we need to do a better job of that. But you guys have really exampled that for me, the just loving people, regardless of who you are, where you came from, what you look like, what your shoes look like or not shoes, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And you just hug them and love them. And that's been a blessing to me. So I thank you for that.
That's what we have to do. That's what we're called to do. Just love people. And like I said, that consistency and the love that you've poured into these people, I know you're just going to continue to do that. So,
well, I'm looking forward to working with you. I know that when I have these needs come up, I can call you and I can get some direction and get some help, and we can really make a difference in these families' lives.
Yes.
Awesome.
Feed them, love them, just walk right beside them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Special lady, special group of people, special organization.
Yeah, super impressive. Wow, it's just, those stories are so powerful. I think that's a big part of it too, is getting those stories out and sharing them as much as we can, how much a difference that can make.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next thing I think we're talking about is Mr. Tackle, our youth media program. We are starting a youth media program that I'm pretty excited about, almost as excited about that as I am football. It's everybody that I talk to about it, share about it, they all just jump on board and they love it. Aaron Sloan, my son, is actually going to be running our youth media program, and he's in the back at the table right now. Hi, Aaron.
So handsome.
So we are, like I said, we're live on Facebook, on our website. We had some technical issues with YouTube, but that's okay. We'll get that fixed for next time. But we're live, and a lot of that has to do with him back there working and keeping all that going. We've also got Maurice, a 12-year-old that we've been working with. He's on camera back there. Hi, Maurice. Awesome. So he's running camera for us for this, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was thinking we were kind of preparing, I'm fortunate enough to help out a church, and in my opinion, which is probably right, the media, it's a joke, the media is the unsung hero, I believe, of things, especially in sports, right? Sometimes we see these clips, we hear these announcers and things of that nature, and we don't really, our eyes are sometimes on the product, but the media can be such an unsung hero and a big piece of what's happening. So tell me how this is going to connect with what you're doing here.
Anything make you look good or
Yeah.
look bad, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, first of all, Aaron did a little tape for me, so I would say roll tape, but that's old school, so cue the video.
There we go.
Hi, my name's Aaron Sloan, and I'm going to talk a little bit about American Football Mission League's media program. Now, not every kid wants to play football. I get it. I played football growing up, and I was so tiny that even though my dad was my head coach pretty much every season, I still sat the bench. So I understand, but one thing that I was always passionate about, still am, is media. So I'm really excited to get into that with the kids and share some of my knowledge with them. Some of the things that we're going to be doing is I'm going to teach them how to run and operate a camera. I'm going to teach them how to edit, run our social media platforms. American Football Mission League has a Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, podcast, LinkedIn. We're going to be doing play-by-play, sideline reporting, highlight videos, game recaps. The goal is for all of American Football Mission League's social medias to be run by the kids eventually. We want them involved in every step of the process. Social media is not going anywhere. So if we can get some of these kids this experience early and maybe help some of them find out that media is also their passion too, it's going to open up some doors, and I think that's really exciting. Hi, my name's Aaron.
Awesome. Yeah. Isn't that exciting?
Really cool.
A little sidebar. I got to redeem myself a little bit, and Aaron a little bit. Yeah, he didn't play for me because he was so small, but the rest of that story is his junior and senior year, he grew and was 6'1", 205, and was an all-state center his senior year. So let me just throw that in there. So,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the media, can you imagine, you see the NFL today. I think we had a picture of this set, or it's coming up here. Imagine the American Football Mission League Today show. The kids doing the highlights. We've got the set, kids in front of the camera, kids behind the camera. We're editing it. We're putting that out on YouTube. We're giving them some experiences that they're not getting anywhere else. And the other thing is we're giving some kids that would, in certain areas, would not have that opportunity at all. So that's real exciting. So yeah, these interviews like that's the kind of things we want to do. We want to have that sideline reporter. A kid comes off from scoring a touchdown, and we want to do those things. So
yeah, just to chime in, I think about my youth and some of my experiences. There was a couple years I played baseball growing up, and there was a couple years I actually stopped playing, and I got to other things, and it would have been really exciting to have just an opportunity to stay around baseball, but doing something like this even just to kind of test those skills. So that's one thing I think about too, is just you expose them in one area, you never know, they might get into another. So I thought that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. That's what we want to do. We want to give them some opportunities.
Yeah. So film, edit, social media, play-by-play, anything else, or just all encompassing essentially.
Yeah, the social media part of it too is teaching kids how to post and do things. There's companies out there right now that'll pay you $50,000, $60,000 a year right off the bat just if you know how to post stuff on social media. There's kids that can graduate high school and go into a job like that right away. So, just like a high school coach puts together film for a football player to get a scholarship, we're going to have film and things that a kid has put together during his time in our program that we can show people to possibly help him get a job.
That's incredible. That's awesome. So yeah, football and media. This is going to be interwoven together. It's going to be connected.
Right.
Can you expand on any ways that this is going to essentially work together and kind of keep going forward?
Yeah, I want to talk about our Brazil trips. Yeah. Okay, so to do that, first of all, I want to bring up my mentor and friend, Pastor Dave McClama, who runs Hope for Brazil. And let's get you a mic. It's a good man right here. Pastor Dave started Hope for Brazil in 2010, and Aaron, my daughter Amber, and myself were actually on the very first official Hope for Brazil trip to Brazil back in 2010. So,
yeah, and from that point on, we ended up taking a football team down and doing football practicing with the players there. We heard that they play American football. And we took a team down there, and it's just been amazing to see what God did through that trip. I know we got some pictures there. We were started off in Manaus. We went all the way down to the capital in Brasilia. There are a number of teams that are playing American football there now, as you well know. And a lot of the ones in that Manaus area in the state of Amazonas are doing a great job and continuing to do that because of you, and you're leading them and teaching them the game of football and getting them to a place where they could play it better.
and I think we've got a few watching live. I think Carlos and Igor, I'm pretty sure, are watching live.
Amen.
So these are guys that we've made friends with that we continue to talk to, and you know, we went down there. They had one team. They were getting ready to start another team. Now we've got, I believe it's 8.
Yeah.
8 adult teams. We've got girls flag teams, and they've got youth flag teams, and we're ready to move that youth flag team into tackle. And 6-man football is that vehicle that we're going to be able to do that, especially working with that one big area, the pastor in Manaus.
Exactly. And I'll never forget the time that we had that Saturday clinic, and where I first saw kind of the prototype and the vision and the mission, vision and the dream that you had for this ministry, and being played out right there in Brazil. And all the kids that came that day, it was amazing, kids and parents. And after the practice and after we had this time together with them and other football players coming and helping them to learn how to tackle and run the ball and pass the ball and everything, we had a big opportunity to take them all up underneath a big tree. And we got all the parents and all the youth that were there and the football players that were helping us, and we had an opportunity to share the gospel with them, to share about Christ. And many of them that day came to know Christ as their personal Savior. And I'll never forget one family, one man and his wife that came up to me and said to me, "I've never heard anything like this before. And today we made a decision for Christ." That's what it's all about. It's not good news until they hear it in time. So I'm thankful for ministries like this, not only in Brazil, but what's going to happen right here on this campus and throughout this community of helping people see how they can know Christ as their Savior and find that real purpose in life that you're going to be pointing them towards.
You know, just thinking on, you know, Miss Kay was talking about feeding them and loving them.
Yeah.
And that trip in 2010, and this is going back before we started the football trips, I remember being on the boat, handing out food bags. And
There's our boat right there, yeah.
yeah, the people would come to the boat in their canoes. It was rainy season, so and climb in the boat. So we've got all these people packed, all the indigenous in the village packed into the boat, and Pastor Dave's sharing the gospel. There was an older gentleman. He was a leader of the tribe, of the village. I had my eyes on him. Never happened before, probably never. I hope it happens again, but I physically saw God change that man's life.
Yeah.
He heard the good news. He heard the message. He received it, and I saw his countenance change. And that had a huge impact on me. So, and that was my first mission trip.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just so excited to be here tonight and looking forward to what God's going to do. I've known you for over 20 years. I know your heart. I know your vision. I know your passion. And this is it. And I'm excited about being a part of this starting tonight. This is the kickoff. And this is the kickoff. And we believe that God's going to do some great things through the American Mission Football League and through your leadership, and how he's going to reach a lot of people in this community and around the surrounding areas for the glory of God.
It's exciting. Kay and I were talking the other day, going over some scripture, and we were talking about them taking that first step when they were carrying the ark, and God stopping the Jordan, and we got to, you know, we're taking that step.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, what people are seeing tonight is your vision. But more than that, what people are hearing is your passion. And I'm praying and been praying that many people will catch on to that. And let's all together do something good for the glory of God.
absolutely,
Amen,
absolutely.
brother.
Thank you, sir.
Love you, man.
Thank you.
You guys are making me wet. Yeah, good stuff.
Thank you, Pastor Jay, for that. Yeah, that's, again, just to reiterate, some of these stories are extremely powerful. So the opportunity for us to share these as much as we can and throughout all the multiple ways we can, whether it's live events, social media, live. So let's keep doing that. One thing I've heard you talk about, Steve, is life skills. I need to know more about this. What does this mean? Define that for me. Explain that for me. How is life skills and football going to be connected?
Football leagues obviously have athletes, but what we want to do is offer an opportunity for kids that have other interests. So that's where, obviously the media comes in. But the other thing that we want to do is be able to show them some different professions. We want to teach them how to change a tire. We want to teach them how to change the oil. We want to teach them how to use PVC pipe, carpentry work, gardening. We just want to teach them all these things. And we want to bring in some professionals, doctors, attorneys, nurses, pharmacists, farmers, I mean, you name it. We just want to expose these guys to some jobs that they can do, learn and do the rest of their life, and then also to some professions, because it just might spark them thinking, yeah, being a doctor might be pretty cool. Maybe I'll check into that. Or, I love working on trucks. Maybe being a mechanic is pretty cool. I'll look into that. So we want to give them those opportunities to do that.
Do you see this to be like a seasonal thing? Is it year round? What do you?
Well, the vision is obviously during football season, we've already got them 3 nights a week.
Yeah.
Okay, so and they're in the off season. This is a year-round program, so that's when we'll meet up here on Saturdays during the off season, and that's when we'll do all of those things. We'll play some games. We may do some different things, but then we'll have that time where we can teach them something.
Yeah, my dad taught me to mow, but if I had some extra instruction, it might have been a little better. It might have been a little bit more consistent there.
I got one story for that, and this happened yesterday, actually. Shane,
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, but before you and Alicia got married, remember Shane showing you how to change a tire?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You didn't know how to change a tire.
I didn't need the skill at the moment.
So,
But, yeah.
Yeah, so how old were you then?
18, 19.
Yeah, and had never changed a tire, so, and it was funny because Shane...
AAA,
Yeah.
insurance.
I was talking to Shane about that yesterday, and he's like, I could just save him one day, because I taught him how to change a tire. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, no. I'll text Shane and Venmo him afterwards. What about verbal skills, Steve? That's something that I recognize in the professional side of things, how that's important. What do you think about that?
You've had a couple interviews today.
I did.
Yeah, so verbal skills is something that a lot of young people just necessarily aren't good at. Now, some of them are too good at it. We know that because we calm down, hush. But no, many of them, they're just not good at that. So one of the things that we want to do is teach them those verbal skills. We're going to use Dollar for Youth Sports, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. But instead of, football is expensive, so we have to raise money, we have to do these things. And I honestly don't want the parents to have to pay for everything. I want the kids to have some skin in the game. So we're going to teach them how to go to their neighbor, to Uncle Bob, say, hey, Uncle Bob, I'm playing football this year. Is there any way you could give $1 a month or $3 a month to help cover my cost for football? As we teach them this, they get more comfortable with it, okay? Later on down in life, when they're sitting there, if they're doing an interview for a job and they can look at a boss in the eye and answer those questions with confidence because they're not scared to talk to somebody. What's the hardest thing in the world to do? Ask somebody for money. I can't stand it. But here we are. We're trying to raise money for an organization. So we want to teach them those verbal skills. So
Yeah. What about officiating and mentoring that. Is that an opportunity too?
Yeah, we're going to have a mentoring program where we're going to teach high school and college kids how to officiate a football game. Okay, so it does several things. One is it brings them into our program. They're working with kids. It's a kind of a big brother type thing that they'll be able to work with the kids. But we're also teaching them something that they can make some pretty good money at. They can go out on a Friday night high school game or a Saturday youth leagues. They can make $200, $300, $400 in a weekend. That's not bad side hustle. Yeah, so we want to be able to teach them how to do that. So yeah, I'm excited about that as we grow that out.
Yeah, and I just think about passion. If they're passionate about football or just, again, the environment, those are going to be things that come natural a little bit and just say, hey, want to put themselves into. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it should be good. And when you think about money, the other thing that I want to mention too is we have a sponsor, Tivaldi, and their Smart Life program. Joe Meyer is the president of Tivaldi. We're working with him to put a curriculum together to teach kids how money works. Most kids, they see a piece of plastic, we just run the plastic and buy whatever we want. That's all mom and dad does, right? We want to teach them how money works. As that grows and as we get to know the families, then we hope that gives us an opportunity to also speak with the families and help them as well to try to help them get off that debt cycle. One of the examples I like to use is, buy here, pay here. They're all around our neighborhood. You buy a $5,000 car and you pay $10,000 for it. Well, we want to be able to teach them how that they can buy that car for what it's worth and not have to overpay. And there are ways that we can teach them how to do that. So that's another part of what we want to do.
Yeah, that's super valuable. You mentioned seeing people just swipe the plastic. Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, yeah. So yeah, it becomes habitual. So yeah, that's excellent to be able to again teach, especially at a young age, the value of money and how to use it, where it should go, and managing that wisely. So I love hearing that.
Yeah, absolutely. What we got next?
Yeah,
my brain's getting.
Well, we're almost there. One thing as I look out tonight, I can see a couple things, Steve. One thing that just catches my eye are these amazing footballs I see on the tables right here. And Steve, they're beautiful first. Second, Steve, I'm curious, can you tell me more about these footballs? Can you tell me about the football itself, the color scheme, and just kind of the story behind it and how that came together?
Yeah, is this one on here? Yeah, let me do this. Hold that. I got to have two hands for this, so that's why I did that. These balls, this is the original ball that we did back 2011 for Hope for Brazil. We made these and took these over there. We've remade them with the youth ball. And some of you are probably trying to figure out, why do we have a multicolored ball? For what purpose do we have a multicolored ball? Well, anytime I carry this around, I will always get asked that. So if you want to get talked to, carry one of these around, you're going to get talked to. But let me explain to you real quick what this is all about. The black color or the dark represents the sin in our life. Okay? Bible says we've all sinned. We've all fallen short. We all have those issues in our life. Okay? So now what do? Well, the red represents the blood of Christ. Okay? When Christ gave his life on the cross and he shed his blood, that gave us forgiveness. Okay? That gave us a forgiveness of all of our sins. So what the Bible tells us is that when we're forgiven of our sins, that we're made white as snow. That's what the white represents. Okay? So now our reward for that, for asking Jesus to forgive us of our sins, our reward is heaven. Okay? So heaven, got it upside down here. We've also got John 14:6 on here. Jesus says, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and no man comes unto the Father but by me. So that gold represents our reward. So as you can see in about 40 seconds there, and yeah, you can go a little longer and we can share more verses and things, but very quickly we can share the love of Christ with somebody through this ball. I think we got a couple of videos that I wanted to show you as well with the kids with the ball. So before I go any farther, let's do that. You ready? So what makes you excited about playing football?
What makes me excited about playing football is you come out here and play with your friends and learn new drills. Football is really fun. Yeah, football. Yeah, football is really fun. Hey, that's
You ready? So what? Now you did really good blocking last week. Did you like blocking?
yeah.
So what did you learn about blocking? Do you remember?
To chop your feet
Yeah.
and to grab it. See, there's
Right.
There's a spider on you.
Uh-oh.
On your back.
Well, get it off.
Killed it. There is actually. Oh, boss! I gotta go.
Now you were. Oh, he got a spider on him, and he was out of there. I ain't putting up with that. I'm out of here. I think you got one more there too. How you guys like the new football?
Okay, so the football is great.
I know, it's amazing.
I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. John 14, 16.
And who do you know who's speaking in that verse? Who's saying that in the Bible? Yep, that's right. Jesus is saying that. Cool. Good deal. Well, I'm glad you guys came out.
John 14, 6.
How you guys like the new football?
That's incredible.
That's pretty cool, huh? So we have to order these in bulk of 225. That's a lot of footballs. We probably only need about 60 to 70 per season. So what we're doing is we are selling these footballs, and we've had quite a few people that we're selling for $25. We have quite a few people that are buying one, donating 3, buying 4, donating 4, you name it. We've got a lot of different combinations. And one of the other things that well, you know what, I can't remember if I have the pictures of Riverside now or if that's later, Alicia. Help me out. That may be later. All right, I'll go back to that. So what we want to do, we still actually need to order. This is the youth ball. We still need to order the next size up. So what we're doing is asking you guys to help us with the balls. People online, if you'd like to purchase a football, you can go to our website. Click on right there. It'll send you, and you can pick how many you want. You can donate some, or you can buy them. That would help us out greatly.
So you're telling me people here can buy those football tonight? They're available for purchase?
Yes.
Okay, so they can grab the football even off the table right now. They wanted to feel the pig skin, the strength. They actually apparently makes you a little stronger even when you grab it, right?
Oh, Maurice is ready.
So
Look at that. Hold them hands up again. Look at there. He's doing what I taught
There
him.
we
He
go.
didn't even know how to do that 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Now he knows exactly what to do.
So yeah, don't be shy. Grab a football, flex a little bit, but yeah, just making sure that's possible, right?
Absolutely. And I do have a little bit of a surprise. Some of you already know this because I posted about it earlier today, but I want to show you something. Oh. Now she's pulling up the Riverside. Okay. This picture here, the original ball, okay, I gave that to Tim when he was at our church speaking and gave him a ball. Well, you know, he's got just a little bit going on in his life right now, and just an incredible person and really is making a difference in the world. But Tim took the time this week, earlier in the week, to sign 4 footballs for us. So that was really special. The fact that, you know, was in Tennessee over the weekend raising money for the trafficking, bringing kids out of being trafficked and helping them and raising money doing that. And everybody, he's signed with the Jaguars now, so all that hoopla is going on. But he still took the time to sign this for us. That was really special. So now I'd love to keep one of these, but I can't. So we'll be figuring that out exactly how we're going to auction it, or if somebody's out there and wants to put 4 figures together, I'll be happy to save one for you. But we'll figure that out over the next few days, and whether it's a silent auction, we'll get that figured out. But I was just very excited about this, so I'm very thankful for Tim for doing that.
Yeah, that's really, really incredible. Got a couple of things left for you, Steve. One of the next things I want you to share and we can hear more about, I've been in the family for a while, and I've heard this vision you've had, this passion you've had for something called Dollar for Youth Sports. And would you mind going a little bit into that history, where that came from, the vision with it, and just kind of the impact we can make through Dollar for Youth Sports?
Yeah, as long as I don't break the mic trying to get it out of there. Cool story. Dollar for Youth Sports literally came 1996. I had a trucking company. I was driving to Gainesville, God's country. I was driving to Gainesville, and I'm listening to the radio, and just got it on. I'm just worshiping and listening, and I really felt like God was saying, turn the radio off. Okay, I turned the radio off. And God began to share this vision with me. It's very simple. It's really nothing complicated or nothing hard. How many people can we find that will donate $1 a month? If we get 1,000 people donating $1 a month, there's $1,000. If we get 10,000 people donating $1 a month, that's $10,000 a month. It's pretty simple. It's nothing hard. Most everybody can afford $1. So that vision, keep in mind now, this is back in 1996. I almost kind of feel like Abram and Sarai waiting, because all this time went by. I kept wanting to use it. And all these different things that would come up, and we tried to use it, and it just didn't fit until now. So this is the vehicle that we're going to use, not only to teach the kids the verbal skills, but this is also the vehicle that we're going to use that's going to allow us to duplicate what we're going to do right here in East Lakeland, to be able to duplicate that in North Lakeland, South Lakeland, Hernando, Jacksonville. I literally got introduced to a pastor in Boston yesterday who's interested in doing this in Boston. So it's there. We've just, now we've got to raise this money so we can duplicate it. And that's, it's going to take a little bit to do that, obviously. But it's exciting, and the vision is even greater than what we're even telling you now. There are still some other spokes to the wheel that we can talk about later. But I got to be respectful of your time here too.
Yeah. So just to recap quickly, it's just the goal is to find those that can contribute and donate a minimum $1 a month towards this youth ministry,
right,
and sports outreach.
Right. I mean, if you think about it this way, there's, if we get 50 people, between here and online, and I ask you to give, to find 10 people that can also give $1, well, that's $6,000 a year. Well, what if they like what we're doing and we turn $1 into $5? Well, now that $1 turns into $30,000. So you can see how quickly the numbers can grow. So it really doesn't take that long. It's just it's a matter of networking and getting with people, and everybody giving just a little bit. That's all it takes, and God will multiply it.
Thank you. I'm excited to see that, again, go forward. I've heard about the story and the vision for years, so I'm super excited to get this a big part of the American Football Mission League. I know we have some couple clips left. Do you want to jump into that, or is there anything else you want to share before we get into those?
Now let's go ahead and do the clips, I think.
Clips, please.
My name is Deontay Trewick, Coach Trey with the RYSA Renegades. Just wanted to give a huge shout out to Coach Steve Sloan. He coached at a tackle clinic. Well, he actually did a tackle clinic for me a couple years ago, and he honestly was one of my biggest motivations to start my own organization. And I still use a lot of his coaching concepts to this day, as far as tackling and things like that. He's been a great mentor to me, somebody that I could always call whenever I was having issues with the program, just to talk in general. Awesome guy. Love him to death. He's family. Steve, love you, brother. Thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for everything that you continue to do in the community. Talk to you later.
Hey everybody, my name is David Scruggs, and I pastor One Hope Church in Davenport, Florida, and we support the American Football Mission League. Hey, right from the very beginning, We believed in the mission and the vision that Coach Steve Sloan presented to us about this program. And not only do we believe that it's going to help develop children in their athleticism and learning how to work as a team, but we think this program has all the earmarks of making children and young adults become well-rounded people. And so we think this is going to have a positive impact on the greater Lakeland area, and not only the children and youth that are part of the program, but also the families that get involved. And so, hey, I'd love to invite you to join American Football Mission League. Maybe get your children signed up or your youth signed up to play this season, or maybe come alongside and be a support and a sponsor in a financial way. Hey, it's going to make a difference. And guess what? We're better together. Hey, everybody.
Pastor David, thank you. And he's in the house tonight. We didn't know he was going to be here tonight, but he surprised us. So it's One Hope Church in Davenport. And we also just happen to have a Davenport Christian prep school as well. So I'm thinking that Davenport needs to be a destination spot for another hub of American Football Mission League. We've got two huge partners right there to make that happen. So what I want to do now, I want to bring Pastor David McClama back up to help me out here as we close a little bit. So let me give you another mic.
All right. Well, it's come to that time.
Yes.
I want to say something before we get into the opportunity for those of you that are here, as well as those of you that are watching online, to be able to give to this ministry. As a missionary, I have learned over the years that if God is in something, God's going to provide. I've seen it over and over and over again in our own ministry. I remember when we were praying for the boat, and it was a 4-year prayer, but God brought the money in for that boat, $60,000, $62,000 he brought in for that boat. But it was a 4-year prayer, but God provided. And I believe that God has tonight here, as well as those who are watching online, God's prepared your heart. He's speaking to your heart. You know, as Steve said a moment ago, $1 a month, that's $12 a year. A lot of people can do that. Now, for some people, it may mean that they need to give up something to provide that dollar. But look what it's going to. Look what's going to take place. To think about having the opportunity to be a part of a ministry that is going to impact the lives of youth in a way that only God can imagine. We can't imagine it, but God knows about it. And He's going to use this ministry in a great way. So that's $1 a month. But you know what I believe? I believe there are people here, and I believe there are people out there that are watching online that could do $12 a month, $144 a year. In fact, my wife and I have been praying about what we're going to do. And I want you to know that we've written a check for $144. We're going to take care. We're going to do $12 a month for a year. There you go, brother. That's starting it off right there.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
And I want to challenge maybe 9 others to do the same thing. 9 others to do the same thing. And as Steve said a moment ago, it will just multiply. It will multiply. You think about this yardage that we have, this yard field that we have right here. It's marked off by 10, 20, 30. Maybe not only in here tonight, but also maybe that are online, and you're seeing this we're standing on right here. Maybe you could do $10 a month, $20 a month, $30 a month, $40, $50. Whatever you can do, it will help this ministry get across the goal line. And the total goal is going to be how much for?
For football, we're looking for 40 grand right away. Our 60 grand total. We've got a wish list for our media of $20,000.
Right.
So we really are looking for $60,000 right away before we start this season.
Okay, $60,000. You heard right there. That can happen. That can happen. That can happen with those of us that are here tonight, right here, live right in here, and also those of you that are watching online. I'm not sure how many are watching online, but I'm sure there are a number that are watching that could do something to help reach that goal of 60,000. There are some immediate needs, and there are some long-term needs, but your money will help do that, and your gift will help to do that. You have a card at your table, and this card is also available online. So those of you that are watching online, you can look at this card as well. It's a commitment card. And all we're asking you tonight is to, as you look at that commitment card, is to say, I will be willing to give a monthly gift. Now, it may be that $12 a month, but it may only be the $1 a month. Whatever it is, write that down. Let us know tonight what you would be willing to give. Maybe God's already spoken to your heart while you've been listening and watching the videos and hearing Steve talk and all that's been shared already. If God's already spoken to you about that gift, write that down. Let us know tonight what you can do. Maybe it's just a one-time gift. I know Steve and I have been talking, and he shared with me there's a couple of people out there that are praying about giving a one-time sizable gift. And maybe there's somebody here tonight that can do that as well, or online. But here's something else I want to challenge you with tonight as well, too. And I'm going to take this challenge as well. Every one of us that are here tonight, you know somebody. And I want you to take on your card, I want you to write down those 10 people. Be one that will say, check that box, say, I will find 10 people to contribute at least $1 a month. Now, if youth can do that, we can do that as well as adults. We know more people than they do. We know more people that have the means and the resources to do what we're talking about tonight. And as you talk with them, and as I've learned, and as Steve has learned, as we talk with people, they're thinking, you know what, I could do more than $1. I could do 5. I could do 10. Or I'll take care of that one need that you have that you're sharing with me tonight or today or whatever time we're talking. But write down that you'll make that commitment. If you want to pray about what you're going to give, but write down tonight, write down that you'll make that commitment to talk with 10 people about giving at least $1 a month. Write their names down. Could be a friend, could be somebody you work with, could be a family member, could be somebody that's an acquaintance, somebody at the gas station, the grocery store, somebody that you know. You can just say real quickly to them, hey, I'm involved in a ministry. I'm supporting a ministry. $1 a month. Will you join me in doing that? You'll be so surprised how many people say, you know what, I'll do that. I'll do that. All kinds. Make sure you put your name there, the date, your phone number, and your email so we can keep up in contact with you. But let's do something tonight that will make a significant difference, not only in the lives of youth in the days ahead, but beginning as starting and launching this ministry this evening. This is the kickoff. This is the kickoff. Are you going to be a part of that tonight?
I do have a challenge, too.
Okay.
We had an opportunity this week. These are some Under Armour pants, and the pads are built in, the integrated pants.
Yeah.
These retail for $50. If you get them for wholesale, they're probably about $30, $35. I've got the opportunity to get 50 pair of these for $10.
Wow.
Say, so for $500,
serious?
yeah, that would save us a minimum of $1,000, not $1,500.
Wow.
So I'm going to look at some people online here and give you a little challenge here. I'd love to have $500 to buy these pants because of what it's going to save us in the long run.
Exactly. Absolutely. Right. Get those out of the way. All right. You just heard that challenge as well, too. So let me encourage you to take that challenge, all right? Take that challenge. Especially take the challenge to be in for $1 a month, $12 a year. Maybe you can take and do that $12. Maybe you're out there and you can do that $500 that Steve needs right now for these pants. Whatever it is, don't miss out on doing something, because what will happen is you'll miss being a part of a blessing. And you'll miss being a part of impacting lives that are going to make a difference in the days ahead.
Well, we've taken up a lot of your time, and I appreciate your patience. We got started a little bit late, and I appreciate your patience with that. And you guys watching online, thank you for hanging around with us. We're very thankful that you're here. And I want to thank a few people, and I wrote this down somewhere so I would not leave anybody else out. So, first of all, the guys with Mabe, thank you so much. Aaron, thank you guys so much for putting this together. Did a great job. The set, the lighting, the sound, everything is great. I really appreciate you guys. And Tavaldi, Joe Myers is a big sponsor for us, and he's going to continue to help us with the Smart Life program and teaching the kids how money works. Crooms Fleet Service and Harold and Christy Crooms, they also own Max Pay Pawn. They're a big contributor for us as well. They're helping us out quite a bit. Lakeland Christian Prep, guys, thank you, Pete. Thank you so much, Ben, you guys. We couldn't be here doing this. We're in your building. We wouldn't be here doing this except for the fact that you guys stepped up and said, hey, here it is, come use it. So we appreciate that very much. The two guys that are real special to me, Lee and John out of Jacksonville. John is the man, I can't thank him enough. He's the one that put together the website, all the social media, the YouTube, it's Facebook, everything. He's put in countless hours. Guys, he's probably done work that if we would have had to pay for it, it would have cost us $6,000 or $8,000 easily. That may be under it. So just thank you guys for what you do. My family, my wife Debbie, my kids that are here, Alicia, Ashton, Aaron. Thank you guys so much. And then Amber's not here; she's watching. Thank you too for. She does parties and events, and I'm calling her up and say, "Hey, what about this? What do you think about this? What do you know?" So all my kids had a hand in this, and I want to thank you guys so much for doing this. And we're not done yet; we still got to clean up. So, but thank you guys. And Derek, thank you too.
Absolutely.
If I can say this, I made a statement when these guys got married, and we went on a cruise. Which, if you've never gone to the Bahamas for a wedding, holy cow, that was the easiest thing and so much fun.
Do that again.
But I was really thankful for the man of God that my God brought into my daughter's life. And I was very appreciative of that. And she couldn't have picked a better man. She couldn't have picked a better man. So, but thank you for doing this. It's great. I knew you'd do great at it, and I was glad you did it. So,
Sir, anytime. Thank you.
Thank you guys. One thing before we leave, though, I forgot the question and answer, didn't I?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A little Q&A.
I'm sorry. So do we have any questions out there? Anybody got any questions that they want to bring up or anything? Did we see anything, that we didn't answer? Speak up. Wife.
I'll bring you a microphone.
Oh, yeah. She'll love that. She'll love that.
I was just going to thank Sheila and her family for helping.
Yes, yes, Sheila, yes. Thank you guys so much. They came in yesterday and helped us put all this wall up and everything. So, yeah, that was good.
Hey, just wanted to know when you guys are kicking off, like, your first season. When's it start?
Yeah, we'll start, I think the Saturday is July 31st, but that 1st of August is what we're shooting for. We'll try to start games by September, 1st of September, middle of September. So we're signing up right now, trying to get as many as we can. Our goal is 120 to 160 kids is what we're looking for, which is a pretty ambitious goal, but I'm believing that we can do that. Anything else? Okay. All right, guys.
All right.
Well, we're going to go. Come on back up here. We're going to go ahead and end our live feed, and I appreciate you guys so much. Have a good evening. I know there's plenty of food left and drink, so help yourself. Take some home, or take some to somebody that knows it. Don't. Oh yeah, just leave your cards on the table when you fill those out. Just leave those there. If you're interested, the glasses are yours. Those are yours to take home. If you want extras, we'll do those for $5 a piece for any extras. For tonight only, we put them on the website. They're going to $10 a piece. So if you want a football, we've got plenty of extra footballs here. And I've even got some hats and a couple shirts over here too. Sorry, Lee and John, y'all didn't pick your shirts up yet, so I'm going to sell them. So, all right. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you very much.
while the world is sound asleep, and too afraid of what might show up while you're dreaming. Nobody sees you. Nobody will believe you. And every day you try to pick up all the pieces, all the memories, they somehow never leave you. Nobody sees you.